sets record low. Recent analysis on Arctic sea ice conditions paints a grim picture. According to the National Snow and Ice Data Center, the summer sea ice minimum extent has dropped to its smallest size in recorded history. It's now 3.41 million square kilometers, or 1.32 million square miles. The coverage of sea ice was relatively stable from 1979 to 2000, but has since been reduced by nearly 50%. While record lows are bound to be set on occasion, scientists agree that these measurements indicate that the Arctic sea ice cover is fundamentally changing. This chart shows the disturbing trend over the last 30 years. The sea ice extent at the end of the melt season is on a decline. And not only is the ice extent getting smaller, but the ice is also thinning at an alarming rate. In fact, some computer models project we are on track to see an ice-free summer within 20 years. That's 40 to 50 years earlier than previously forecast. The more the ice melts, the more ocean surface is exposed that can absorb heat from the sun. This warms the water in the region even further, melting even more ice. This scenario has direct consequences. A warmer Arctic accelerates the melting of Greenland's ice sheet. This ice sheet is currently 1.9 miles thick and contains enough ice to raise global sea levels by about 25 feet. Less sea ice and warmer ocean water also affect atmospheric patterns, like the jet stream, and may lead to more extreme summer and winter weather events in the US, Europe, and Asia. So what happens in the Arctic doesn't stay in the Arctic. The disappearance of summer sea ice cover is one of the most visible warning signs of severe climate change and will have consequences that are felt all over the world.
As Arctic ice continues to melt, it will cause ripple effects across the planet. When the polar regions warm, even just a degree, it disturbs atmospheric and oceanic patterns. The patterns of the jet stream will be affected, which may lead to more extreme summer and winter weather events in Europe, Asia, and North America. Not only will our weather change, but sea level will rise too. Sea ice melt itself does not cause sea levels to rise because the ice is already in the water, but the melting of ice on a land surface like Greenland does, because new water is flowing into the ocean. In addition, as ocean water warms, it expands, which also raises sea level. Warmer air temperatures will accelerate the melting of Greenland's ice sheet, which contains enough ice to raise global sea levels by more than 20 feet. Sea ice creates a unique ecosystem that supports millions of plants and animals, from krill and ice algae to cod and walruses. Both the topside and underside of the ice provide places for animals to hunt, hide, rest, mate, and give birth. Without sea ice, Arctic plants and animals must either adapt or migrate. If they can't, they will go extinct. If that isn't enough, people who live in coastal communities within the Arctic Circle are also battling erosion along their coastlines. Sea ice serves as a buffer against wave action. Without it, the wind blows across a larger region of open water, resulting in stronger winds and bigger waves that erode the shoreline. These communities must relocate inland, or their homes and land could be washed out to sea. For ice in the Arctic, it's a race against time. If humans do not change what we are doing to the global climate, the ice will continue to disappear, and life as we know it will be altered.
Ich habe so ein Video. Arctic sea ice reflects about 80% of the sun's heat, stabilizing the colder temperature of the ocean. Based on the latest satellite data cited in a December 2007 article, National Aeronautics and Space Administration climate scientist Jay Zwally predicts that nearly all the ice could be gone from the Arctic Ocean by the end of summer 2012. Arctic ice in September 2007 was 23% below previous record low from NASA satellite data and 50% below 1950 levels from ship data. Other records surpassed. Greenland's surface ice loss is now 400% greater than 15 years ago. Surface temperatures in the Arctic are the highest in 77 years of record keeping. There is hope. According to James Hansen, top climate scientist at NASA, we have passed tipping points. We have not passed a point of no return. We can still roll things back, but it is going to require a quick turn in direction.
We have to save this planet so that we'll be able to stay first. Because if the ice all melt, if the pole all melt out, and then if the sea is warm, then the gas will be released from the ocean, and we all be poisoned by the gas from the ocean. It's a lot of gas, enough to kill everyone. If you see the Singapore lecture, I already warned that we have to change the way we live, otherwise it's too late. It's 10 or 15 years ago. Before that, I always talk about how we deforest our planet, yeah? Meat eating and all that is contribute to a lot of damage to our planet, Scientists say many things. They're listening now, but I just hope they do it fast. They just take action. All the governments in the world really take it now seriously. It's just I'm worried the action might be too slow, that's all. Because the eyes are reflecting the sun, you see? So I send it back into the space. But the eyes are melting so fast now that there's not enough reflection, yeah? And because the sea is already warm. And because the sea warm, it melts the ice. And because the ice melt, the sea warmer. You see what I mean, the cycle? The way it is going, if they don't fix it, 4 or 5 years time, finito. No more. It's really that urgent.
I still don't know what to think about data apparently showing Arctic ice thinning. In the meantime, the last 2 European and Northern American winters have been particularly cold. I gave an adequate answer, but what I should have said is this. It's because of the thinning Arctic ice that the last 2 European and American winters were cold. The melting Arctic ice meant more open ocean in that region, and as the Arctic waters are warmer than the air, heat was released to the atmosphere during winter. This caused a high-pressure system in the Arctic, which pushed cold air southward over Europe and America. It's like leaving a freezer door open, with the cold air being leaked into the kitchen.